Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Well, good morning, everybody. Here we are. It's a Friday morning, and we're all here and ready to go here. We're live here from New York City, and we're coming to you. We're going to be around here for a whole hour. The name of the show is called The Coffee Hour, and we thank you so much for being along with us. And boy, what a day it's going to be. We're going to get together, and we invite everybody to come along and enjoy and join us for the next hour as we get together and have coffee and donuts and everything that we have to offer here, and a great conversation. Now, we here every Friday. For those of you who are new, we come here every Friday at this time, and it's always Eastern time. So in my case, it's after 10 o'clock. In your case, it could be someplace else. So look at your clock and look at it very closely and see that that's the time we come on in your area each week, the coffee hour. And of course, if you're a first-time viewer of the show, we get together each week. I start the conversation, get things going. You can join us too as well. Be part of the conversation and be part of the show as well. All you have to do is just use your fingers, right? Because you can communicate with us live as we speak. Use your fingers right there. Let your fingers do the walking. Get on your keyboard, on your computer, on your cell phone, or even on your tablet, and whatever device that you have to pick us up. Use that keyboard and say what you have to say, and I'll see you right there on the big screen, and we'll answer your questions. And if there's something in particular that you would like to talk about, please feel free. We will entertain all of your thoughts and ideas as we go along right throughout the show. And furthermore, right throughout the show, we've got things that we always talk about. If you watch us, by the way, on Facebook, take the time, I must say this, take the time to tag all of your friends. Tag this show to your friends on Facebook if you're watching us, and let them see what we're up to, because if they like what they see, they like what they hear, of course, they'll come back again and again. So they'll see that information that you tag them, and they'll click onto it. They'll know it's from you, and they'll click onto it, and it'll bring them right to us. Okay, simple as that. And we hope that you do that, as many friends as you want. Now, I know you may have so many friends, you can't use them all, but whatever you can do, because the more, the merrier. Those of you who are watching us on YouTube, click onto my YouTube channel. Click it on, because, when you do that, that gives you a chance to know whenever we come on live or whenever we post a video of some sort, it gives you that information. That information is what? It's a reminder that something has been happening. You can click onto that, and it'll bring you right to the channel. Those of you who are watching us on Instagram, all you have to do is just keep following us. Just keep following us, and that's all you have to do. Tell your family and friends about it too. Let them in on the action, and to bring them all in, and let's have a little fun together. And if you're watching us, let's see. So we're coming on 3 different places. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We already got that covered. So whatever your place is, that's what we'll have all information for you. You get the same information, and we'll talk the same talk. You can still communicate no matter where you are. You can still communicate with us. Just let your fingers do the walking. Now, as we always do, we have particulars that we do in the show as well. In just a few minutes from now, in this particular half hour, just minutes from now, Brian Camp will be here with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. He'll be along, and what will happen with that, he will give you all the latest developments. And if you have any questions, any sports-related questions when he comes in, feel free, because he'll be able to answer your questions and anything about sports at all. That's why he's here, because he knows. So he'll be here for that. So that's all coming up. And before the show is over, I must tell you this, that I will have all of those picks of the week that I have each weekend. I have them each week for the weekend. Now, a lot of you may be inclined to do things, whatever you do on the weekend, but one of the things may be catching up on some movies that you haven't seen in a long time, right? So I have 3, I think I have 3 today. I'll check further. Picks of the week. to add to your bucket list of movies on what to watch this weekend. So therefore, we'll have that. And remember that all the views and the opinions expressed on this show, the Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other social media or public broadcast facility. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started right away. And remember, what would the Coffee Hour be without a little coffee? So excuse me while I shoot up. No iced coffee today. The weather's a little cooler now. The weather got cooler here in New York. We're going to tell you about that weather forecast later on in the show as we go along. But the weather did get a little cooler. And because we had a deep heat wave, we had some kind of heat wave going on at one particular time. And that heat wave, it just roasted us to death. Now, some people could take the heat, depending on where you are. Let's say, for instance, if you're in a place where there's desert, you're not going to get that. You'll get the intense heat, but you won't get the humidity. That's the whole thing. You know, it's a whole different ballgame. So with the humidity mixed with the heat, it tends to be sweltering. And so that's what we had in New York, but everything is cooled down now. And I hope everything's out where you are. So if you're going to chime in conversation, please give us your weather forecast wherever you are. I'm going to give you mine in just a few minutes. I want to say hello to Warren out from Greensboro, North Carolina. He's out there watching. Good morning to you. Welcome to the club. And let me see what you got for your weather forecast today. Brian is going to give us his when he comes in. He'll let us know what's happening in Charlotte, North Carolina. Last night, he was telling me that they had rain out there. And that was strange because we didn't get any rain here yet. But that's going to change. That's going to change because when he's told me he had rain, I was saying, how come we didn't get it? Because usually whatever he gets, shifts it over here. But that's going to change. We'll tell you more about that in just a few minutes as we go along. Okay. Let's see. What do we have going for today? I do know that I mentioned this last night. And this is something you ought to understand because they didn't mention it too much anyway. But, you know, do you realize that they are banning incandescent lighting now? Do you realize they have banned it already? So you can no longer, and they will no longer manufacture incandescent light bulbs. So everything is LTD. OLD, yeah. So everything is LTD, and which is better, by the way. You got to understand that's better lighting. You know why? Because it doesn't generate a lot of heat. It saves energy, and they last longer. They last for years, and you could stock up on light bulb LTG. Am I pronouncing that LTG, LDT, LDD, or whatever it is? All right, I gotta find out. Somebody help me out. Someone's gonna help me out for that. Anyway, those light bulbs they last a long time. They're very cool light bulbs. They don't generate a lot of heat. You could have them on all day. And I'm pretty sure if you live in an apartment building, I'm pretty sure your super had fixed all of that up, took out all of the fixtures from incandescent lighting into the newer lights that they have today. And it's all cool. So it's everywhere you go, they're saving energy. But the whole thing is like some people, I don't know why they would, but some people may prefer incandescent lighting. So you no longer buy it. They took them off the market. They're just running everything these days where they're telling us what to do or telling us what to have. Anyway, but I do like those light bulbs. They're very cool and they last a long time. So I kind of mentioned that anyway. I got my weather forecast. I am going to relay that to you right now. Let me see if I can pick it up and find it. We have right now, presently, as we speak, we have 74 degrees out there, 74 degrees with our weather. And so I'm going to tell you what it looks like for the weekend. We talked about rain. Well, it's changing, but it's not going to be that bad. It's not going to be that bad. For starters, it says there's in our area, this is just New York, in our area, it's a marginal risk of severe weather for today. Okay, let's see what that means. Right now, it's overcast skies. We're going to have straight showers or thunderstorms, and that's possible for today. We'll have a high 79 degrees. Winds will be south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, thunderstorms likely this evening, then a chance of scattered thunderstorms overnight, low 69 degrees. So it's going to be kind of wet today and tonight. We'll have a low around 69 degrees, as I said, and winds will be west-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain will be 70%, 70% rain. Now, this is where it gets better. This is where it gets better. For Saturday, we expect a few afternoon clouds, but mainly sunny skies. Mainly sunny skies, no wet weather. We'll have a high around 86 degrees, and winds will be light and variable. For Saturday night, partly cloudy, low 68. No wet weather in that vein right there. Winds will be light and variable. But when we wrap up our weekend, we wrap it up, stay at home, stay in bed Sunday, or go to church Sunday, or whatever you do on Sundays. Anyway, any event, it's going to be partly cloudy skies, high around 85 degrees, and winds will be east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So we only have to worry about, New Yorkers only have to worry about today and tonight. And they say the bulk of the rain will probably be starting like late afternoon today. And then we'll get the rain overnight, and then it'll clear up somewhat on Saturday. So that's not that bad. That's not that bad. Now, they didn't say anything about a washout, no downpours or anything like that. But that's how it's going to be for what we have right now. So that's our weather forecast for New York City. And I'm going to repeat our current temperature. We have 74 degrees out there. And as I can see, the sun is kind of in and out. It's kind of a peekaboo situation with the sun. But we'll take it. We'll take it. Anyway, just in case you're just joining us, welcome to the Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allan. We're here. And in Greensboro, North Carolina, Warren says they got rain. They got rain out there. So how long the rain is going to be, we don't know. But I usually channel my weather here in New York from the South. And it usually works. Not all the time. Sometimes, if the rain happens in the South, it usually comes this way. Not all the time, but in some cases. When Brian told me last night they had rain, and I said, well, we didn't get any rain, but I guess this is what we're going to get, but not a lot of rain. Anyway, he'll talk more about that and sports. That's all coming up your way right here on the Coffee Hour. So let's keep things rolling. I want to tell you local people, since we're on the local scene, I want to tell all of you local people, I want to go right through this because it's going to cost you a little bit more to get around New York City. It's going to cost you a little bit more because the price of the fare is going up. On August 20th, effective August 20th, fare increases will go into effect across MTA subways, buses, and commuter rails. Tolls increase on bridges and tunnels will go into effect on August 6th. So that happens Sunday, August 6th. You're going to cross the bridges and the tunnels. Now you have to pay a little more. The proposed base fare for the subway and buses goes to 5%. In other words, we're paying $2.75 for the buses and subways right now, but when that fare goes up on the 20th, it'll be $2.90. And a 7-day ticket will raise 30%. And right now, the 7-day ticket is $127. It's $33 presently, and then it goes up to $34 on the 20th. And as for the 30-day, now the 30-day ticket raises 4%. So the 30-day ticket is $127 presently, and then it will go up to $132. And for the express bus, what you're paying for the express bus now, it's going to go up to 4%. It's $6.75 presently, and then it's going to go up to $7 evenly. And the 7-day express bus ticket will raise 3% from $62 to $64. Scary, isn't it? Scary. How high can he go? How high it be? You know, if this keeps going on, it'll be cheaper to drive. Anyway, the toll hikes are also coming. I already mentioned that. The MTA says it's leaning towards a split option, 6% for the Easy Pass and 10% for the mail-at-home credit card payments. Now, if you didn't get any of this, or if I went too fast, because it's a lot of information and I can't repeat it, so therefore I am going to lead you to their website. The website is new.mta.info. That's new.mta.info. Telephone number, if you desire, is 877-690-5116. That's 877-690-5116. Terrible, you know, it's terrible. Brace yourself. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Paul Reubens, who came to fame of the 1980s as a children's TV star, Pee Wee Herman, died last Sunday in Los Angeles, California. Pee Wee Herman delighted generations of children and adults with his positivity, whimsy, and beliefs of importance of kindness. Paul Reubens bravely and privately fought cancer for years with his trademark intensity and wit. In an attached statement from Reubens himself, he apologized to his fans for dealing with his health battles privately. And this is what he says. He says, "Please accept my apology for not going public with what I've been going through for the past 6 years. I've always felt a huge amount of love and respect from my friends, fans, and supporters. I have loved you all so much and enjoy making art for you." Paul Reubens died at the age of 70 years old. We're going to miss him. He did a good job in that field. Pee Wee Herman. Now, every generation had a person like Pee Wee Herman. Every generation had a person like Pee Wee Herman growing up. When I grew up in the 50s and in the 50s growing up, we had a guy by the name of Pinky Lee. Now, you young people don't know who Pinky Lee is. People who are watching my age, you know who Pinky Lee is. We had Pinky Lee. And you can look up Pinky Lee. He has videos on YouTube. You can look him up and see. He used to always wear that checkered hat and the checkered, everything was checkered with him. Checkered hat, checkered jacket, checkered tie, and checkered shirt. The pants, he didn't wear checkered pants. I don't think he wore checkered pants. If he did it very rarely. He wore like these light colored pants all the time, but everything was checkered with him. Anyway, he used to have a show. They used to come on Saturdays. I mean, I remember at one part he had an evening show, but for the most part, it was like a Saturday morning show. Kids wake up in the morning, they have the Saturday morning cartoons, and they watch all of those things, and Pinky Lee was one of them. And so we had Pinky Lee. There's a guy by the name of Uncle Floyd, who's still alive, by the way. And I understand that Uncle Floyd is in a hospital. I just got word last week that Uncle Floyd caught a stroke. So we're praying for him. Anyway, they had Uncle Floyd, who used to come on, I believe like in the 70s, in the 60s and the 70s. And before catching the stroke, I don't know if he was still working, maybe he retired. Now, Uncle Floyd reminded me of Pinky Lee because he used to always wear these loud colors. He used to wear this hat all the time. And so he did remind me of Pinky Lee. And so 70s come around. Now you have Pee Wee Herman. Pee Wee Herman. So we had, every generation had a guy like him, Pee Wee Herman. So anyway, Pee Wee Herman died at the age of 70 years old. We're gonna miss him. His show was fun. And if you watch Pee Wee Herman, you knew Pee Wee Herman, the actor, Lawrence Fishburne, right? Lawrence Fishburne, he was one of the featured people on Pee Wee Herman. He played Cowboy Curtis. You know, you could go back on YouTube and watch all of those things. They're all there, and you can watch all of them. And there's a lot of videos of Pinky Lee, and I'm pretty sure of Uncle Floyd, and of course Pee Wee Herman, and they're all there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move quickly, because right now we're going to make our transition over to Charlotte, North Carolina, because that's where Brian Camp is. Brian Camp is bringing us the latest developments in today's world of sports. Brian, how's it going?
Mr. Rogers was my childhood era, and
Mr. Rogers.
Right, I always liked Wonderama. Used to come on every Sunday. Wonderama with Bob McAllister.
Yeah, Bob McAllister. But you know, Wonderama, there was a guy named Sonny Fox that had Wonderama. That was probably before your time. Sonny. Yeah. Well, you probably were around. You were just probably too young to remember.
Well, there's Soupy Sales also as well too. So, we all bringing them out. But Wonderama was something I really like. Used to watch it every Sunday morning before we went to church, and it was just how he used to have the kids, and and they used to have the theme where the part where it says, "Oh, have you heard any good news today? Today, I want to hear what you have to say." And the kids would say, like one of the kids say, "My mommy's having a baby," and then he'll pass the mic on to all the other kids and everything. It was just fantastic. Those days are,
well, they're all gone. And as you mentioned, Soupy Sales, he had a character. He had an ensemble of characters, White Fang and Black Tooth, and all of those Soupy Sales, and they were good programs.
They had a lot of kids shows doing back then. Of course, Sesame Street is always going to be number one, but Wonderama and Soupy Sales and Mr. Rogers are the three that come to mind for me.
Chuck McCann with Let's Have Fun. I remember.
Let's Have Fun. Yeah.
Party Puppets. And a lot of fun back in those days.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to go back to YouTube to see some of these here programs, and that's what I do sometimes. Yeah. To watch them. Yeah. Lots of fun, lots of great memories. Yeah. But good morning to you all out there listening to the coffee hour. It is very cloudy and overcast here in the Queen City, known as Charlotte, North Carolina. It is 75 degrees, nice brisk air. It's only going to go up to 85, which is great. But it's been raining all day yesterday here in Charlotte, and they don't expect rain. We might get a couple of drizzles from here and there, but it's going to be overcast for the entire day. So great to adjust, sit back, relax, take a nap, and enjoy the day. That's all. Well, in sports, I'm going to get right to sports. Got a lot to talk about. In 1972, Wilt Chamberlain jerseys expected to go for over $4 million. Collectibles brokers calls the jersey Chamberlain's wore in the 1972 championship clinching Game 5 victory over the Knicks, and was the most valuable piece by memorabilia ever to appear on the market. $4 million. That's incredible. Wilt Chamberlain wore the famous number 13. I would assume that's the gold jersey, since it was, I believe they clinched the game in LA. Yeah, that was in that year. So it wasn't a purple jersey, it was the gold jersey. So $4 million. Also in basketball, Vancouver and Montreal will host one preseason game each ahead of the 2023-24 NBA regular season. The two games are part of the NBA Canada series, aiming to increase the game's popularity. Yes, as we all know, Canada mainly the main sporting event is hockey. They're known for hockey. A lot of famous Canadian players who played in the National Hockey League had made their money and their success and their legacy through the NHL. But basketball is trying to do the same right now. So it was started with the Toronto Raptors will be playing against the Sacramento Kings October 8th in Vancouver, and then close out the showcase when they take on the Detroit Pistons in Montreal. That'll be on October 12th. NFL football, last night we had the preseason Hall of Fame game between the Jets, the New York Jets, and the Cleveland Browns. I don't know who won. I don't follow preseason football. It's a waste of time, but it's good to see that football is a little bit over 30 days away from the beginning of their season. So football, it's time for some football. It is coming soon. The Denver Broncos head coach Sean Payton created a national attention last week. He was telling USA Today that Nathaniel Hackett, who was the former coach of the New York Jets, of the former coach of the Denver Broncos, had a 15-game run last season, and Sean Payton says it's one of the worst coaching jobs in the history of the NFL, and that there were 20 dirty hands around quarterback Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson had a terrible year. He went from stardom to a lowly, I guess you could say, equal third-string quarterback. That's how poorly he played. Now, the thing about this here, the reason why I'm bringing this up, he broke a code. In sports and in life, men have codes. We talk locker room talk, as the number 45 would say. It's locker room talk. That means we talk within our own sanctuary, where we talk about anything you want to talk about. We talk junk, we talk smack, we talk about everything, and that stays within us. But what Sean Payton did, he let it out outside the realm, and he broke a code. That's a street code. You know, there's street codes and there's NFL codes. There's just codes, period. And then you cross the line. Even organized crime have a code, believe it or not. Organized crime, they have a code too. But he broke that code, and he later on said that he made a mistake and he planned on to call Nathaniel Hackett and the rest of the Jets coaching staff to apologize. One person says, don't expect apologies. This is who he is. So men out there, you don't break that code. You keep it within the manhood of men, and not to bring it out, but he brought it out. So he's wrong for that. Radio personality of the Washington Commanders fired its host, Michael Sauce. His last name is Sauce, Michael Sauce, for on-air comments he made about a local TV anchor while the team's facility. Now, Michael Sauce, whose radio name is Don Geronimo, made several disparaging remarks last week about Charlotte McBride, who works for WUSA TV, during his show on WBIG FM. After spotting McBride, Geronimo said during his broadcast, "Hey, look, Barbie here." Barbie, the famous Barbie doll. That's how she looked, he said. And he says, "Hi, Barbie girl." And then he later referred her as the chick. And also, he said, "I guess I'm getting a cheerleader." Well, by you saying these remarks, especially in this time and day and age, you're out of here, you're fired. There's no place for that kind of talk. And everything is sensitive nowadays. You cannot say certain things unless if you're Howard Stern, or if you have that cable radio station where you can say whatever you want. But he crossed the line. Now he's out of a job. The NFL has revised its personal conduct policy to expand the definition of sexual assault offensive, which could result in more severe penalty. First violation of sexual assault involving physical force or committing against someone incapable of giving consent or involving threats would result in suspension of 6 games without pay. A second violation will result in banishment from the NFL. That means you'd be kicked out once and for all. So that's just like drug policy. You get so many chances, and this is what happens. This day in sports, August 4th, 1910, Major League Baseball pitcher duel from the Philadelphia A's, Jack Combs, and Chicago White Sox, Ed Walsh, pitch a 0-0 tie in 16 innings. They both went to distance 16 innings. That was in 1910. You can't even get pitchers today to go past 5 innings. But this happened in 1910. 1973, New York Yankee Lindy McDaniel comes in relief in the second inning to allow 1 run in 13 innings versus the Detroit Tigers. A relief pitcher nowadays only do 1 inning, maybe 2, but he came in relief and pitched 13 innings. how times have changed. 1982, I remember this thing. Outfielder Joe Youngblood, I was watching this game, becomes the only player to get 2 hits in 2 different teams, in 2 different cities in the same day. He got traded. That's why he was able, the first half of a doubleheader, he got a hit. He was told he was going to be traded. He jumped on a flight, a plane, or whatever he went on, and went on to his new team and got a hit on that same day. That's remarkable. Never be done again. 1985, future Hall of Famer Rod Carew collects 3,000 hits off of Frank Viola. 1985, New York Yankees retired Major League Baseball Hall of Famer shortstop Phil Rizzuto's number 10. 1985, Tom Seaver of the Chicago White Sox. I remember this game. This game was on a Sunday at Yankee Stadium. It's the 17th pitcher to win 300 games at Yankee Stadium in front of a crowd of 54,032. That was a Sunday. That was a big time. As you know, he's a former Met. So a lot of New York Met fans came to see this historical event. 2007, 32-year-old Alex Rodriguez is the youngest player to hit 500 home runs. 2007, Barry Bonds homers off of Clay Hensley to tie Hank Aaron's home run record at 70-55. And in 2010, 3 years back, what we talked about Alex Rodriguez, on the 3rd anniversary of hitting his 500 home run, he hits his 600 home run on the same day he hit 3 years prior to that, his 500 home run. Birthdays, 1942, one of my favorite Met, believe it or not. Cleon Jones, Major League Baseball outfielder, was born in Mobile, Alabama. And in 1962, Major League pitcher Roger Clemens, 7-time Cy Young Award winner, was born in Dayton, Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, that is sports on an overcast, cloudy day here in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Not even Howard Stern could run his mouth like that. I just want to know that. Not even a guy like Howard Stern.
Well, we had some doozies. We had some pioneers, Howard Stern and Don Imus.
Yeah.
They would say things and, you know.
Yeah, but sometimes it comes back to bite you. You saw what happened to Don Imus.
You know? He said something about the Rutgers University women's basketball team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't listen to shock jock radio. You know, I think it's ridiculous. They had a team called Opie. I call them Opie and Dopey because they were real total a-holes. And they used to say things on the air, and now they no longer have a show. They can't even get back on the air.
Yeah. Wow.
That's
what happens when you open up your mouth, you know. So.
The rules apply to everyone. And just because you're on cable TV or cable radio, just because cable radio, that's not the word I want to use, cable radio, but just because you're on internet radio, you know, internet, you don't have to see what internet radio, you don't have to, you're not upholding to the FCC, so you don't have to worry about FCC. So people curse on the air, people do this. I mean, I just don't. I just feel that maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just so old fashioned that I just don't curse on the air, even though it's the platform allows me to do it, you know, or certain words to do it. But there are kids listening. You know, no one thinks about kids anymore. You know, what's TV and radio for? Kids can't watch things anymore. Otherwise, they wouldn't have these features that you can block certain programs, you know, on your cable outlet. You can block certain programs so your kids don't watch it. There used to be a time where TV was like a family thing. You could watch anything.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Right, even though we only had 7 channels back then. But
TV went off at a certain time when you hear the national anthem.
That's right. But daytime TV, you know, it shuts off like maybe 12 midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and then it signs on again at 6 o'clock in the morning. I remember that, and then that's when the test pattern came on. You know,
that's right.
But TV is not for kids anymore.
Nope.
You know. But they do watch these things. They pick up on a lot of things that are happening, and you can't really block them out forever. You can't, because kids are smart. Kids are smart. They have a way of
Well, kids have YouTube now, so that's where they get all their stuff from now.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody,
even YouTube have a lot of things that, you know.
Yeah, I know.
And listen, I guess that's where we're in an age where nothing matters anymore. You know, just
exactly
nothing matters. You know, just whatever used to happen, they just add on. They just, how do they say it? They kind of modernize everything. So everything is modernized. The church is modernized. The schools are modernized. The hospital are modernized. Everything's modernized. The Bible is modernized. Oh gosh.
Well, they got different versions of the Bible in different languages.
You got like 100 versions now, you know?
Yeah.
And some of the things that, you know, growing up as a kid, Mom used to read the Bible, and all of the words that I remember planted in my head, and I go to church and they're saying that same verse, but in different words. They switch up the
They
word.
try to break it down for you so you can have a better understanding of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But
wow.
You know, what are you going to do? Well, you won't be here next week.
No, I will be away. I'll be on a ship in Royal Caribbean on a cruise with my wife and my granddaughter. We're going to be cruising through Honduras and Mexico and to another place. I forgot the name of it. I don't have it with me, but yeah, I'm going to be enjoying there. Hopefully, maybe I could chime in. Let's see. I don't know what the Wi-Fi is like, you know, so maybe I could chime in and see what happens and everything.
Either way, we'll take care of things. We'll keep things running here. And you might want to take off the following week too. That's up to you. That's up to you.
I don't know, but I'll speak to you about that.
I know what it's like when you're coming out of and then you be jet lagged and all of that. It takes time to recover from that.
Oh no, I have a strong stomach. You know, my wife is the one that got to worry about. We always got to send her straight to the infirmary because she gets seasick before the cruise starts. So we board the ship, we go straight to the infirmary, give her patch or her shots, and then she'll be good to go.
Well, all I can say is that you have a great time, and you know, bring back a rock or stone as a souvenir.
I'll be sipping some virgin pina coladas. That's for sure. I'll do that. Make sure I do that. You know, but I'm looking forward to this vacation. This is my first vacation since the pandemic. My first real vacation out of the country, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, that's good. Where are you going? You're going to?
I'll be going to Mexico. 2 places in Mexico. I'll be going to a place in Honduras. And I think somewhere Royal Caribbean have their own. They have their own island, so I'll be
whatever island.
Yeah. So it's a 7-day cruise. We need it. The wife, my granddaughter. My granddaughter's first cruise, and she's going to be so excited. Then I want to bring her back home to New York, and I'm going to pop in to see you, and see my children and the other grandkids as well. Then back to the Queen City by midweek.
One step at a time. Enjoy the trip first.
Thank you, big brother. I really appreciate it. Hope everybody have a safe weekend. Be safe, and just be careful out there. I want to say to my cousin Warren, hello, and to Sherry Competer, hello. Nice to meet you. Never met you, but glad that you could come on to the show, and whoever is watching as well.
Okay, so we'll catch you back here in 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks, depending. You let us know.
I'll pop in. I'll make a surprise visit and so on. You know.
Okay, take care of yourself. Have a great one.
Take care.
All right, that's Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports. Boy, I would like to take that cruise. I've been only on one cruise in my life. Everybody that I know lives on cruises. They love cruises. They go on cruises all the time. Cherie, you've been on cruises, right? You've been on cruises, right? I'm pretty sure. Anyway, Cherie is out there along with Warren. Good morning to you. Good morning to everyone. And good morning to the rest of you guys who are out there. And particularly all of you guys who are remaining idle. I know you're there, but you're idle. And we want to say welcome aboard. And if you're watching us for the very first time, take whatever's left of the show and tag it to your friends and let them in on the action. They'll see that information coming from you, that notification. All they have to do is click on that notification and it automatically brings them to us right here. They'll see you, they'll see me, Warren, Cherie, Brian, all of us out here. And you can talk to them and talk to me. That's how we do it here. All right. And if you're watching us on YouTube, click on to my YouTube channel and click on to subscribe. Subscribe to us because that allows you to know whenever we come on live or we so much post a video, you get notification. That's one of the benefits of being part of the action here. And for the rest of you on Instagram, thank you. I just learned that Instagram, we started Instagram late, but I'm glad, better late than never. You know, technical things happen. So we want to say hello to each and every one of you. I want to wave. I see some wavers out there, so I just want to wave to you out there and thanking you for being along with us. So Cherie never been on a cruise. But there you go. You ought to go. You ought to go at least once. Cherie, because Cherie, you impressed me as a person that have been on a cruise. I don't know why. You look like that kind of person, the fun-loving person, like to have a good time, like to enjoy yourself. You impress me. So since you have never been on a cruise, and I've only been on a cruise one time, I can tell you that one time sold me. I will go on another cruise again. It's the matter of when. You know, but I will. But I think you should go at least once. Go on a cruise at least once. Take about 7, 8, 9 days away from it all. Get away. You know, you'll see nothing but sea. You know something, Cherie, you'll probably not even know that you're on a cruise. Once the ship pulls off and you go out to sea, and the only time you'll know that you're on a cruise if you're out on the deck and you see nothing. You see absolutely nothing but waters and dolphins climbing. That's all you'll see, you know. But once I say you're inside, I mean, it's inside. It's like you're walking through a mall. They do have malls there. They have casinos. They have shopping places where you can go. They have places where you can get adult beverages, you know, to take home. You have to buy it on the ship. You can't bring your own. I'm going to tell you that right now. Just in case you decide that you want to do that, they will stop you right there and they will take that away from you until you return. They don't allow you to take your adult beverages into your cabins with you because and there's a reason for that, and a good reason for that, because they want you to buy theirs. That's what they want. They want you to buy theirs. They want you to patronize the bar, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? You know, some people get away with it though, you know, but I've seen people get away with it, but I say, shh, don't say anything, don't say anything. Just stash it in, shh. Keep it on the down low, right? Just in case you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allan, and again, we're going to be with you until the top of the hour. And I have so much fun each week when I come in with you guys. Cherie says, I will be in a while. I just had, oh, that's right, Cherie. I saw your pictures on Facebook. I'm sorry, I didn't acknowledge it. I was just going through Facebook, just rushing through it. And I saw one of your pictures. You still have that smile on your face, even though I hope you're feeling fine. I hope you're getting better. I hope you're back home. Had a broken shoulder. She had a broken shoulder. And, you know, just take your time. Don't strain, don't stress or anything, you know, and just take it easy, you know, because it takes time to heal and those things happen. But I'm glad you're back. Feel better. And then once you feel better, think about going on a cruise. Maybe that's your calling. I think a cruise should be your calling. I think it's your calling. Go on a cruise. It's roping you in. Like someone is going, roping you in. How about a cruise? Come on a cruise. I'm being a devil's advocate here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh boy. Anyway, it's the coffee hour. So excuse me again, guys, while I shoot up. This is legal. What do they say? They say coffee is a drug. I don't look at it as a drug. I look at it as a stimulant, you know, and they say, well, what's the difference between a stimulant and a drug? You know, you could say soda is a drug. You could say sugar is a drug. You know, tobacco is a drug. Everything is a drug, you know, and however you do it, you know, you want to take it easy. I don't recommend cigarettes. Nothing to damage you. No cigarettes, no booze, and you know, stay hydrated, right? I can't believe I said no booze. Anyway, we're here once again, and we got a lot of things. We got more things to talk about. I'm just going through a lot of things. We all know about the strike, right? And I didn't talk too much about the strike. I'm talking about the writers' strike, SAG and AFTRA. You know, the unions and the people who are in those unions who I adore, and who I, by the way, I uphold what they're doing. I uphold what they're doing. I believe that everyone should get what they're supposed to be getting. Now, this strike has been on for a while now. And some people are actually, and before you knock these people who are on strike, just because your TV program is not on the air anymore, and the reasons for that is because they have to have writers, and the writers are on strike. Everybody's on strike. You have the writers, the actors, they're out there. They're out in Hollywood, in California. They're protesting. Here in New York, over there in Rockefeller Center, they protest every day. And I'm with them because, you know, simply because I'm a union person. I'm a union person. I'm pro-union. And I got to tell you, to be pro-union, you're not very popular with people who are, on the other hand, anti-union. Because unions protect you, right? They want to make sure that they get what you owe, what they owe. You get what they owe. And so, you know, these actors are out there because they want to protect their rights. They need money. You know, don't think that every actor out there that you see on TV is a millionaire. Don't think that at all. There's a lot of them that are struggling to pay their bills, just like average people. They're struggling to pay their bill. If not struggling, they're living from paycheck to paycheck, just like the average person. Sometimes they don't get work. That's one of the things about this business, the acting business, right? You don't always get work. Sometimes you have to take another job and wait by the telephone till you get that call, or have a script sent to you. You know, unless you're someone like Denzel Washington or Robert Redford or Meryl Streep, unless you're in that caliber, you know, you have to keep working. You have to maybe work second jobs. You have to worry about losing your home. And so you're just waiting and waiting and waiting. And let me tell you something, to be on a caliber of the people that I mentioned, that's not an easy thing to do. Everyone doesn't live like that. Everyone doesn't live that. Very few people live like that in that business. It's hard. It takes many years for people who want to get into acting. It takes many years for them to, first of all, you have to develop your craft. You know, you just can't go and think that you're going to make a movie like that. You know, and it's the same thing in radio and TV. You know, it's people have to develop themselves, make themselves known, and polish themselves, and sell themselves in a way where they're good for the industry. It's a hard thing. People sometimes it takes people 20 years to actually get their first gig. You know, they're doing all of this. They're working on the extra set. Some of them are doing extras and worked extras for years and years and never got anything, you know? And it's a chancy business. It's a chancy business. Case in point, you know, there are a lot of people who, you know, that had big hit movies and then later on bailed out. Either they bailed out because, you know, they weren't getting a lot of work and they weren't getting their residuals. And that's one of the things that the people in SAG and AFTRA are looking for. That's why they're on strike. They're not getting residuals. And technology is taking over to the point where all they have to do is record one of your likeness one time and then you're out. They could use you over and over again and you don't get paid for it, but you should get paid for it, you know? And in my opinion, not just because I'm a union person, but I think, in my opinion, every industry should be a union. Every industry, from actors to people in fast food restaurants. All people should be unionized, because if they're not, what happens? It's already you've already seen it all the way. People who are not unionized, they get sometimes less than the minimum wage. Less than a minimum wage. If you get less than a minimum wage, you should check that out, because that's against the law. You're supposed to get minimum wage. No, you can't go. You can't work under minimum wage. That's slave. How can I put that? Not slave. I don't want to use the word slave. That's a dirty word. But you're working basically for nothing. You know, I was going to say slave labor. I guess that's all right to say slave labor. You know, no one. It's against the law to work under minimum wage. And some people probably don't get that. A lot of people don't get that. They need the money that bad. Well, they're willing to work under the minimum amount that they're supposed to be getting, and they don't get them. Sometimes they don't get them, you know. So that's what these people are for. That's why they're out there. They're waiting for you. They're waiting for the people to understand that they want residuals. A lot of them don't even have health benefits. Do you realize that you have to be in that industry a certain amount of years before you can even get benefits? So what does that leave you? That leaves them to say, well, you know something, I have to have medical benefits. So I don't get medical benefits, so I have to do it out of my pocket. Or maybe get help from assistance or something, assistance programs and things like that. But yes, I'm setting the record straight, because even the actors will tell you that all of us are not millionaires. They call themselves blue collar workers. Again, if you're elite, like the people that I mentioned, like some of the actors that I mentioned, if you're not up to there, then you're going to be waiting and waiting and waiting. Like Robert Redford, he's always going to be working. Denzel Washington is always going to be working. Meryl Streep is always going to be working. You know, Tom Cruise is always going to be working. You know, these are the people who are up there. They call them the elite of actors and actresses. And Brian, you made a good point too, which I didn't mention too. Without a union, they could fire you for any reason. At any time, you can get fired from a job. Who wants to go on a job and work and then you have children to put through college, you have a baby to raise, you have rent to pay, and you have all of the necessities that you have to cover to survive. Your head is above water. So if you don't have a union, things could happen at any time. So I think every industry should be unionized. And because I'll tell you a story. I might have mentioned the story before. I said the story before that the union people, you know, I'm a union person. And I remember at one particular point, I was a union shop steward. And the union shop steward that doesn't mean anything. That means that you represent your brothers and your sisters who are in your same shop, depending on your local. If you're in your same shop, I represent them. If they have a problem, they can come to me and say, hey, you know something, they fired me for what? I said, why did they fire you or something, whatever it is. I would go to the union and said, you know, a person got fired, and I did this. There was a person in my shop that got fired, but didn't get any warnings afterwards, no notice, anything, because the way it works in a union, you get 3 chances. The first one is a letter. First one is verbal, the second one is a letter, and the third one, well, that's the one that would get you fired. Maybe, you know, but you have to do something very stupid to get fired as a union person, because the unions are supposed to represent you, to make sure that you're on and make sure you're getting what you're supposed to be getting. And so I went to the union and I told them, I said, if this person is not back on the job by tomorrow morning, then I'm taking this case to arbitration. Arbitration is a dirty word to union delegates. Dirty word. They don't want to hear about it. It's messy. And believe me when I tell you, the people of SAG and AFTRA, they're feeling the pinch. The unions are suffering, the actors, the writers, everybody's suffering. And so I still stand with all of my union brothers and sisters. I'm not in your same union, but I'm with you. I am a union person. I believe in the authority, and I believe in the unions. And so I'm with you all the way. Okay, it's time for me to give you those great movies of the week. Movies, you know, I keep, you know, telling you about those each week, because a lot of you do things on the weekends, but one of the things that you may want to do is see something that you might have heard of, right? Or haven't seen in a long time. But before I tell you that, I want to tell you about these birthdays this week. I don't want to miss out on that. Duchess of Sussex and Duchess of Sussex. That's former actress Meghan Markle. She's 42 years old today. Attorney politician Hakeem Jeffries is 53 today. Former President Barack Obama is 62. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Actor Billy Bob Thornton is 68. Actor comedian Richard Belzer used to play on Law and Order SUV. And he would have been 79 years old today. Actress Tina Cole of My Three Sons is 80 years old today. The next following people are no longer with us. R&B singer Cliff Nobles would have been 82. Singer Timmy Euro with a big hit, I'm So Hurt, she would have been 83. Frankie Ford, that did Sea Cruise back in the 50s, he would have been 84. Actor Frank Vincent, who played on The Sopranos, he would have been 86 today. And journalist Helen Thomas would have been 103 years old. Louis Armstrong, Satchmo, would have been 122 years old. And Queen Elizabeth I would have been 123. So there you have. Happy birthday to all of you guys. Quickly, let me tell you about the movies. This is what I have. Singing in the Rain from 1952, Gene Kelly and Debbie Reynolds. And of course, Donald O'Connor. That's on Turner Classic Movies. That comes on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. You also have The Tender Trap from 1955 with Frank Sinatra and Debbie Reynolds once again. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. And that follows Singing in the Rain. And that's Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And it's right there on Turner Classic Movies. I hope you enjoy these movies. Those are the movies I have. Those are my picks of the week. And again, you could also go on Turner Classic Movies and scroll right down there through the program guide and see other movies that I didn't mention that you may like. That's going to wrap it up for me. My weekend is officially underway. So with that, I want to thank you guys for being along with us. We'll be back on Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern for Talk Back Live. I'll be here. And of course, I'll be covering for Brian with sports. He's going to be out in the ocean, but we'll be here anyway. And I hope that you will too. Other than that, I'll be back here next Friday for more of the coffee hour. And Brian, of course, will be away at the ocean again, but we'll cover for him. But we want to catch you back here next week. Until that time, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and take good care of yourself. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
You've been watching The Coffee Hour with your host, Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us. And we'll see you next time on the Coffee Hour.